Why is Travis Scott in The Odyssey? Christopher Nolan's surprising cameo explained. Warning. This video contains spoilers for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Christopher Nolan has built a reputation for making films that audiences never forget. Whether it's The Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar, or Oppenheimer, every Nolan movie includes at least one surprise that gets people talking. But in The Odyssey, one of the biggest surprises isn't a plot twist, it's a casting choice. When audiences watched the movie for the first time, many were shocked to see one unexpected face appear on screen. Travis Scott, one of the world's biggest music artists, suddenly appears in a movie based on a 3,000-year-old Greek epic. Naturally, viewers had the same question. Why is Travis Scott in The Odyssey? Who does he play? Is it simply a celebrity cameo? Or is there a deeper meaning behind Christopher Nolan's decision? The answer reveals something fascinating about both ancient Greece and modern music. Let's explain. At first glance, Travis Scott seems like an unusual choice for a historical epic. The Odyssey is based on Homer's legendary poem written nearly 3,000 years ago. The story follows Odysseus as he struggles to return home after the Trojan War. It is filled with kings, warriors, gods, monsters, witches, and mythical creatures. A modern rapper hardly seems like someone who belongs in that world, but Christopher Nolan didn't cast Travis Scott simply because he is famous. He cast him because of what he represents. In the film, Travis Scott plays a bard. To modern audiences, that might sound like a very small role, but in the ancient world, a bard was one of the most respected people in society, long before books became common. Long before newspapers, television, radio, or the internet, stories survived because someone remembered them. That someone was the bard. A bard was much more than a singer. He was a historian, a poet, a musician, a storyteller, and the living memory of an entire civilization. Every kingdom depended on storytellers to preserve its greatest victories and its greatest tragedies. Without bards, many of the stories we know today would have disappeared forever. In fact, Homer's The Odyssey itself survived because generations of storytellers memorized thousands of lines and performed them before audiences across ancient Greece. For centuries, these stories were spoken aloud instead of being read from books. Every performance kept the legend alive. Every audience passed the story to the next generation. That means the very movie we are watching today exists because ancient storytellers refused to let the legend of Odysseus disappear. This is exactly where Christopher Nolan's casting decision becomes brilliant. Instead of hiring another traditional actor for the role of the bard, he chose someone whose career is built around live performance and storytelling. Travis Scott. Although millions know him as a rapper, he is also one of the world's biggest live performers. His concerts combine music, emotion, visuals, and narrative to create unforgettable experiences. Thousands of years ago, Greek audiences gathered around a bard to hear stories of legendary heroes. Today, millions gather in stadiums to watch artists perform stories through music. The technology has changed. The stage has changed. But the purpose has remained exactly the same. Storytelling. According to interviews surrounding the film, Christopher Nolan saw a clear connection between ancient bards and modern musicians. Both rely on rhythm, performance, memory, voice, emotion, and carefully chosen words. Ancient bards memorized epic poems containing thousands of lines. Modern artists memorize entire albums and perform them before enormous crowds. Ancient storytellers inspired civilizations. Modern musicians inspire millions of fans around the world. When viewed from that perspective, Travis Scott's casting suddenly makes perfect sense. He isn't simply playing a character. He represents the evolution of storytelling across thousands of years. Inside the film, Travis Scott appears during one of the early sequences. His character performs before an audience, sharing stories about the legendary exploits of Odysseus. Before viewers even begin following Odysseus on his incredible journey, they first hear about the hero's reputation. This is exactly how heroes became famous in the ancient world. There were no history books, no documentaries, no social media, no newspapers. Stories spread through songs and performances. If a warrior defeated a great enemy, if a king won an impossible battle, if a hero survived incredible dangers. The bard transformed those events into legends. Without storytellers, even the greatest heroes would eventually be forgotten. That makes the bard one of the most important figures in Greek culture. Although Travis Scott's screen time is relatively brief, his role carries enormous symbolic meaning. He represents every storyteller who helped preserve Homer's epic over nearly 3,000 years. Without people like him, there would be no Odyssey. Another reason audiences reacted so strongly is because Christopher Nolan kept the role almost completely secret. Before the film's release, many people knew Travis Scott had joined the cast. But almost nobody knew which character he would play. Some believed he would portray a soldier, others thought he might appear as a messenger or even a completely original character. Instead, Nolan revealed him as the bard, surprising audiences across the world. Within hours of the movie's release, social media filled with reactions. Some viewers admitted they were shocked. Others praised Nolan for finding such a creative way to connect ancient mythology with modern culture. Once audiences understood the historical importance of the bard, many began appreciating the casting choice far more than they initially expected. Christopher Nolan has always enjoyed challenging expectations. Throughout his career, he has repeatedly chosen actors in roles nobody expected. He transformed Heath Ledger into one of cinema's greatest villains. He reinvented Robert Pattinson as a serious dramatic actor. He frequently cast performers based on talent rather than audience expectations. With Travis Scott, Nolan followed that same philosophy once again. Instead of asking whether he looked like someone from ancient Greece, Nolan asked a different question. Who best represents the spirit of an ancient storyteller in today's world? For him, the answer was Travis Scott. There is another fascinating layer hidden inside this decision. The Odyssey is one of the oldest stories ever told. For nearly 3,000 years, it has inspired countless books, paintings, stage plays, television series, films, and video games. Every generation finds its own way to retell Homer's masterpiece. Christopher Nolan's adaptation is simply the latest chapter in that long tradition. By casting a globally recognized musician as the bard, Nolan reminds audiences that storytelling never stands still. Every generation creates its own storytellers. Thousands of years ago, they stood before kings inside great halls. Today, they perform before millions in sold-out arenas. The audience changes. The technology changes. But powerful stories continue connecting people across generations. Travis Scott's involvement also extends beyond his appearance on screen. He contributes to the film's closing music, helping bring Odysseus' emotional journey to its conclusion. The ending reflects themes of longing, home, family, hope, and perseverance. The very same emotions that have made The Odyssey one of history's greatest stories. It serves as one final reminder that, although the poem was written thousands of years ago, its message still speaks to audiences today. Every generation understands the desire to overcome impossible challenges and finally return home. That universal message is why Homer's story has survived for nearly 3 millennia. And perhaps that is the greatest reason Christopher Nolan cast Travis Scott. Not because he wanted a celebrity cameo, but because he wanted a modern storyteller to honor one of history's oldest storytelling traditions. So why is Travis Scott in The Odyssey? Because he isn't just playing a bard. He represents the bridge between ancient storytelling and modern culture. His appearance reminds us that legends never truly disappear. They simply find new voices, new audiences, and new generations willing to tell them again. What do you think? Did Travis Scott's appearance surprise you? Or do you think Christopher Nolan made the perfect casting choice once you understand the meaning behind the bard? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more The Odyssey Explained videos, Christopher Nolan analysis, hidden details, Greek mythology stories, filmmaking secrets, and character breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.